Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're taking a deep dive into censorship in China. We've got a fascinating Wikipedia article lined up, and trust me, I've given it a good once-over. No rogue editors this time, I promise. But seriously, we're going beyond the surface here. We're talking about how censorship works in China, where it came from, and the unexpected ways it pops up in everyday life. You might think this whole censorship thing started with the Communist Party, right?
Right.
Well, get this. Even before the CCP, the nationalist government, the Kuomintang, they were already calling the shots on what people could and couldn't say. They banned a book called Inside Asia back in 1941. And then in 42, they shut down accusations of corruption against their own finance minister.
It's like this echo through history, isn't it? Even before the CCP took over, there was this impulse to control the narrative. It really sets the stage for what happens next.
So the seeds of censorship were already there.
Yeah.
But when the CCP came into power in 1949, things changed, didn't they?
Oh, absolutely.
Reporters Without Borders even called it the end of editorial freedom. The press basically became, what, a megaphone for the party.
Exactly. A mouthpiece.
Yeah, a mouthpiece for the party line, no room for debate there.
And that control, that grip on information, it only tightened after Tiananmen Square in '89.
Right, Tiananmen Square, that was a turning point, wasn't it?
Absolutely. You see, during the economic reforms, there was this period of, well, a bit of openness.
A little bit of breathing room.
Exactly. But then the protests happened and the government panicked.
They realized they couldn't risk that level of free expression again.
Precisely. They saw how quickly things could spiral when people could access and share information freely.
And so what did they do?
Well, they did something quite clever, actually.
Yeah.
They embraced the internet.
They did. They really pushed for everyone to get online.
And this is the crucial part, they simultaneously built the Great Firewall.
To control what people saw online.
Yeah, you got this intricate system of filters and blocks.
It's like giving someone a shiny new car, but keeping the keys for yourself.
That's a great way to put it. It's about control, ultimately. Deciding what people see, and by extension, how they understand the world around them.
Okay, so we've set the stage, we've got a sense of the history, but who are the key players in this censorship game today, and what are the rules?
Well, you can think of the CCP as the conductor, right?
Okay.
Orchestrating this whole censorship symphony, and they've got their different sections. The propaganda department, that's like the first violins setting the tone, right?
Right.
They decide what flies and what gets flagged.
Gotcha. So they're like the censorship HQ, calling the shots. But how do they actually enforce all this stuff? I mean,
Well,
China's massive, right?
It is.
It's huge. Do they have, like, censorship police roaming the streets or something?
You laugh, but it's almost like that. I mean, not literally police, but they've got an estimated 2 million people monitoring online activity.
2 million. That's more people than some countries have in their actual military.
It shows you how seriously they take this, right? These online monitors are like their eyes and ears,
Wow.
scanning for anything that even hints at dissent.
So it's not just like algorithms and stuff.
No, it's a human operation, too.
Wow. And here's the thing that's blowing my mind right now. It's not just the government doing the censoring, is it?
You're catching on. This is where it gets really interesting.
It does. It does.
Private companies, the big players, Tencent, Sina Weibo, they're all expected to play ball, to toe the line.
So we're talking WeChat, Weibo. These are huge platforms.
Exactly. And they've got their own algorithms, their own teams of censors, scrubbing their platforms clean.
So they're basically in on it, too.
They have to be. Think about it. The Chinese market is massive.
Right.
If you want a piece of that pie, you play by their rules, and the penalties for not censoring. There's steep fines, shutdowns, you name it.
I bet. So it's like this balancing act for these companies, trying to stay in the government's good graces without alienating their users.
Exactly. And sometimes they even get penalized for not being strict enough.
Wow.
It's a tough line to walk. And it's not just about blocking access, it's about shaping the narrative.
Okay, what do you mean by that?
So here's a crazy thought. Even fact-checking websites in China, they often self-censor.
No way.
Oh, yeah.
To avoid what? Proving the government wrong?
Exactly. Can you imagine? Trying to debunk a rumor and accidentally revealing it was government propaganda all along.
That is wild. So even truth-seeking is a tightrope walk.
Welcome to China, right? It's all about control, and it creates this culture of second-guessing, this self-censorship that becomes second nature.
It's like this invisible hand shaping everything.
Precisely.
Which begs the question, what are they so afraid of? I mean, what actually gets censored in China? So we've established they're serious about this whole censorship thing. But what are the rules? Like, what actually gets you in trouble?
Oh, let me tell you, it's a long list. But
Yeah.
history is a big one, like a huge one.
Right, they're really fixated on controlling their own narrative.
Obsessed. They call it historical nihilism. Basically, if it challenges the official story, it's a no-go.
No questioning the textbooks, got it.
Oh.
But it goes beyond history, right? What about just criticizing the government today?
Oh, absolutely not. That's a one-way ticket to getting blocked. Political dissent is a big no-no, obviously.
Right.
But also talking about things like Tibet, Taiwan, anything to do with Falun Gong.
Right, those are all sensitive topics.
Very much so. And of course, anything about Tiananmen Square.
Right, can't forget Tiananmen.
Nope, that's like the ultimate taboo.
Okay, so political criticism is a given, but what about other stuff? Like movies, music, do they censor that too?
You bet. They censor all forms of media. Remember that whole Winnie the Pooh thing a while back?
Wait, they banned Winnie the Pooh? Seriously?
Dead serious. People online started comparing Xi Jinping to Winnie the Pooh, and the government went nuts. Images, memes, everything scrubbed from the internet.
Wow, so even a fictional cartoon bear isn't safe. What about things like, LGBTQ content, religious stuff? Is that censored too?
Absolutely. Anything that doesn't fit their very narrow view of, well, morality, basically. It's considered dangerous. They've even censored depictions of poverty because it doesn't fit their image of a thriving, prosperous nation.
It's like they're trying to create this perfect, sanitized version of reality. It's kind of terrifying, to be honest.
It is concerning, no doubt, but here's the thing about censorship. It often backfires.
Oh, how so?
Well, take that Winnie the Pooh ban, for example. Did it stop people from talking about it?
I guess not. Probably just made it more popular.
Exactly. It's like this weird phenomenon. The banned in China label has become a marketing tactic.
You're kidding.
Nope. It creates this aura of danger, of intrigue, Makes people even more curious about what's being hidden.
So it's like the Streisand effect in action.
Exactly. Trying to suppress something often just amplifies it.
Wow, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
So where does that leave us? What's the takeaway for our listeners who want to understand censorship in China?
I think the key is understanding that this isn't just about politics. It's about a whole way of life. It's about control, yes, but it's also about the ways people resist that control, the ways they find to express themselves.
It's a complex issue with no easy answers.
Exactly, and it's something we all need to be aware of because this isn't just happening in China. This struggle between control and freedom of information, it's happening globally, and it's only going to become more important in the years to come.
That's a sobering thought, but an important one. Well, folks, that's our deep dive into censorship in China for today. We've covered a lot of ground, but this is really just the tip of the iceberg. Keep asking questions, keep digging deeper, and remember, the more we understand about these issues, the better equipped we are to navigate the challenges of the digital age. Thanks for joining us.